Hi everyone. Sorry for keeping you guys waiting. Thank you so much for joining. Apologies, like we've been having some technical issues getting. So we've been having some technical issues getting one of our panelists on, but I have been able to do that now. Thank you so much for your patience. I am Priya Sinha, and I represent DCU Global for Africa and Middle East. And today I'll be taking you through this student panel. Again, this would be like a very good opportunity for you to ask any questions and get answers to some of your questions from actual students that are studying at DCU. Originally, we're supposed to have three student panelists today, but one of them came down with a stomach bug. So today to just be two of our students, and then I will jump in as well because I'm an alumni of DCU. So I will be able to answer some of the questions as well. So just before we start, I'll just go through just a few housekeeping rules. So I would basically serve as the moderator. I would ask that you keep your questions in the Q&A, and I would go through the questions and ask them to the ambassadors. Again, please try to keep your questions as general and try to limit them to just, questions about like student experience. Again, if you have like something specific about your application or anything like that, I will drop an email in the chat for you to be able to send those queries in. So without further ado, I would just introduce the ambassadors that are on with me today. So I have Rong Rong, who is a student from China. She is currently studying her MA in Translation Studies. I'm also joined by Ofure from Nigeria. Again, because of the technical issues, I don't think he'll be able to put on his video, but you'll be able to hear his voice. So he's currently doing our MA in data protection and privacy law and computing. I would be filling in, the third spot. Finished my I finished my master's at DCU in 2021. So I do have, I guess, that experience of being a student, even though it's been almost 4 or 5 years now. But again, I'll be able to answer any of the questions that you have. Okay. So I will just start asking them a few questions, and then please, if you have any questions for our panelists, please put them in the Q&A and I'll go through them. So, Wrong, I'll start with you. What made you decide that Ireland and DCU were, the best place for you to do your master's program?
Hi, Ria. Hi, everyone. I'm Rong. Yeah, to be honest, choosing Ireland and DCU felt like a mix of research and feeling because I wanted a place where I could get a high quality education, but also feel safe and welcome as an international student. And Ireland stood out because it's a English speaking country known for its friendly people, and it also has a strong reputation in education and innovation. DCU in particular impressed me not just because it's the youngest university in Ireland, and also not just because it's the academic reputation, but also because of how student focused it is. I liked how practical the courses sounded and how much support was available for students and how diverse the student community seemed. So I also appreciated the way DCU reached out to international students early on with webinars like what we are doing now and support before arrival. It gave me confidence and that I would be looked after. So in the end, it felt like the right place to grow both academically and personally. Thank you.
Yeah, that's very good. Yes, that's I think one of the things that we strive to do at DCU, to try to sort of like welcome you into the fold and make you feel as comfortable as possible. That's one of the aims of doing webinars and initiatives like this. So you can get to, I guess, like, discuss with like actual students and get that experience. So, from my own perspective, I think one advice I'd give to you guys is that you should, ensure that you do as much research as you can. Again, like most times you would get like most of the information that you need, on our website. But again, like, doing more research just to understand, the country, understand the weather, just so you kind of know, I guess, like what you'll be facing when you are coming to Ireland. Okay, give me a second. Let me just try one more time to see if I can admit Offery to speak. No, he's gone. Okay. Anyways, yeah, so let's just move on with that. So I have one more question I would answer first. And wrong, I'll just ask you to if you have anything to contribute as well, to add as well. So this one is, how was the transition to life in Dublin, or how has the transition to life in Dublin been? What were the main challenges you had to overcome? So, from my own experience, when I came way back now in 2020, in 2019, um, I think one of the biggest challenges for me was the weather. Yeah, I knew that it rained quite a bit in Ireland, but I don't think I was as prepared for how much rain there was. So I think that was kind of like one of the biggest challenge. Also, it was kind of like a big surprise as well in during the winter when it started to get really dark, like at 4 p.m. Because coming from where I come from, the sun doesn't go down until like about 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. But during the winter here, from 4 o'clock, like it feels like it's 10 o'clock in the night. That was kind of like one of the biggest challenges. But yeah, I was able to find a way to navigate that period of my life as well. Um, wrong. I would ask you that same question. It seems like Offery has been able to fix his, so I'd ask him that question again. But wrong. Do you have anything to contribute to that question?
Yes, I think the biggest one is uh the the drinking, the drinking culture.
I see. I see.
Yeah, yeah, in Ireland, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I understand that. Yeah, here in Ireland, they have like a very, I guess, party spirit. Almost every single like, outing or something involves drinking. So for someone who is not used to something like that, yeah, it can be a bit jarring as well. So Ofri, one of the questions I was asking was, what advice do you have, if any, for incoming international students?
Okay. One advice or two to three advice that I have. Let me confirm that you can hear me.
Yes, yes, we can hear you now. We can hear you.
Yes. So two to three advice that I have for prospective international students is that be ready to live the DCU experience. I know you're coming to learn, but you should also come with a mindset that you are also coming to get your networks. So as you study, make sure you speak to that neighbor sitting near you, make friends, just live the experience, talk to people, just understand that you're not just learning, you are coming to socialize with people from different walks of life that can also help in your future endeavor in terms of what you want to achieve professionally.
Fantastic.
Then come with the mindset that Ireland will be good for you and your career. Don't come with uncertainty, because it's the mindset you come with that enables you enjoy your study while in DCU. So generally, just live the DCU experience, and everything will work out well. Ireland is a beautiful place to study. DCU is a beautiful school to study. So I believe you're going to enjoy it. Thank you.
Fantastic. Yes, yes, that's it. I think, yeah, if you come with the mindset that you want to, be involved in activities, I think that's one of the things that I try to do as well, during my master's, at DCU, because when I did my undergrad, I was like laser focused on just the academics, and I kind of lost sight of everything else. But when I was doing the masters at DCU, I now decided to get more involved with DCU as a community. Yes, the academics are very important, but everything else adds to ensure that you have that holistic experience. So yeah, that's very, very good advice. So now I would go into the Q&A again. As I said, like if you have any questions for our panelists, again, try to keep them general to the experience at DCU. So I would go through and pick out a few questions to ask. I would ask the question, I can say an answer from my own perspective, and then I can throw it to one of the panelists to answer as well. So Aditya is asking, what kind of accommodation do you recommend for international students? Again, to answer this question before I throw it to the panelists, again, you have the option to stay both on campus and off campus. Again, on campus accommodation is in limited supply, so you need to send in your application. If you have not yet, you still have 2 days. So I would say make your application on dcuaccommodations.com. But if you also choose, you can choose to stay off campus. So I'll throw it to Ofre. What, I guess, advice, and where are you currently staying, and how was your experience getting that?
Hello. Yes. For accommodation purpose, like I live on campus, and I was lucky because the campus accommodation, you get in through a lucky draw. And for some of the people listening, I hope you have put in your application for the on-campus application. It comes by luck, so you have to pray really hard that you get it. But if you get it, it really saves you a lot of time committing to school. You are able to relax properly because the accommodation is very near your class. So it's just maybe a minute to wherever you're going to. And for outside accommodation, there are decent accommodations around DCU that you can also look forward to. But the school accommodation is very good. Like there's everything you need in the accommodation. It's home away from home. That's the word I would like to use for the decent accommodation that DCU provided to me. Everything you need, like everything you need. You don't have to worry about anything. So I hope you're putting your lottery application, and I hope that you're successful in the lottery process. Thank you.
Fantastic. Wrong. Do you have like anything different? Like, are you currently staying on campus or staying off campus?
So I'm not as lucky as Ofre. So I don't live on campus. I wish I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I live off campus, and so I stayed first. I mean I stayed in few different places. In terms of recommendations, I guess like what Ofre just said, if you can live on campus, live on campus. I mean, it is highly recommended. Um, um, but because you get, I mean, you are a student here, your study should be your first primary and most important task, right? So and you study at DCU, I mean, your study, your life should be involved. I mean, your full-time student should be involved around DCU. So what can make it like even better is to live on campus. Everything happens on campus. Make full use of it. So there are lots of things, opportunities going on. So yeah, I would highly recommend. But if you don't wait larger like I did, yeah, of course there are lots of options. Like you can choose to stay off campus, like live with a host, rent, uh, like flat or house with someone else. So it's totally up to you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank
No
you.
problem.
So the next question, I think Rong and I have answered like a form of this question. I will just throw it to Ofre. So Aditya is also asking, what was the biggest shock for you, like when you arrived in Dublin? I guess what was something that surprised you when you first arrived in Dublin?
I didn't get that.
So what was the biggest shock? Like what surprised you the most, I guess, when you first arrived in Dublin?
Oh, okay. Well, the biggest shock I had when I came to Ireland was actually the weather, because I come from a major tropical area. So when I came here, I was like, I couldn't cope. It was like so cold for me. No matter the dress I put on, it just didn't seem to work. But I understood that every problem is solved by your mind. So I mentally programmed my mind to not feel cold. And it just happened that I didn't start feeling any cold about island weather. So I took the cold as very normal. So the weather became very normal to me. Like the weather became as if I was living in my country because I had to program my mind to feel like it wasn't cold. Then the second major shock was the drinking culture. It seems as if um, you have to like drinking. You have to like alcohol to mingle with the people. And I don't drink alcohol, so it was kind of hard for me to socialize. But you will still have friends who don't drink alcohol that you will still be happy with. So it doesn't matter. You can still be in the midst of people who drink and you choose not to drink. So you don't let that social anxiety that you don't drink make you don't hang out with people. So that was the two major shock for me. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, I'm still on, I guess, like that subject of alcohol. Yes, a lot of the social gatherings are always sort of like centered around alcohol, but these days as well, like there are like a lot more options as well as Ofri said, like yes, you can hang out with people and still not drink, or you can choose to have things like mocktails or soft drinks as well, like while you're hanging out. So don't feel like, any pressure to participate, like if it is not something that you are interested in as well. Okay, so the next question, someone is asking, I'm guessing like this is what the question is. So it's like, what do most international students miss, I guess, about back home when they first arrive? So is there anything that you miss from back home since you've been in Dublin? I'll ask you wrong first.
Okay, so I'm not a homesick person really, but I do miss slightly bit uh with Chinese food. So yeah, that's the only thing I miss, honestly.
Very good.
Yeah.
And have you been able to find like any restaurants here in Dublin that would serve even not like the same quality, but kind of close to that?
Yeah. There are. There are. I mean, there are some, and they do have. Yes. Yeah,
That's
but
good.
yeah.
Offering, is there anything that you miss from back home since you came to Dublin?
Already got it.
I know, so I said like, is there anything that you miss from back home since you arrived in Ireland?
Well, Well, try just your local meals, because eating your local meals in a different country is quite expensive.
Mm, mm,
Um, Aside that, nothing really is there to miss.
yeah,
The system works. The system here works. So that's what is exciting. That you are studying in a country where everything works to favor you. And one thing I forgot to add is that there's support in DCU. You just have to ask. You are entitled to have that support. That support ain't coming to you. You might think, oh, there's support for mental health and all of that. So it comes to you know you go you ask for it, and when you ask for it, you have it. That's just what I want to add. There's
yeah.
all sorts of facilities here in DCU for you to enjoy, but you have to ask for it because it's yours. Nobody's saying no to you, although there might be some no's, but you get lots of yes. That's what I have to say. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I think yeah, that's one thing a lot of international students sometimes they yeah, they probably do not like, want to reach out, but that's as Ofri said, like
Yes.
all those supports exist and they exist to benefit you. So if you're struggling with anything, don't wait till it is too late to ask for that support. It does exist and it's very, very helpful as well. Okay, so Aditya has asked another question, and I think this is a very, very good question. How easy or hard was it to find a part-time job? And did you go through the university or external platforms? And what's a realistic monthly budget for students living in Dublin? So I think yeah, there are multiple questions in this question. So first, like we'll just talk about, I guess, like part-time jobs. Currently, like, are you guys doing any part-time jobs? How easy was it to find? And yeah, how's it going? I think I'll start with them. Wrong.
Okay, so currently I work as a like private English tutor to this Chinese new like immigrant family. So apart from tutoring the 5-year-old, I also do some like translation work for the family. So yeah, that is my part-time job, and it's I got like uh referred by my classmates. So
Very good.
yeah.
Very good. Yeah, so that's it. See, and again, like that part-time job is very related to the master's program that you are doing
Yeah,
as well. So
yeah.
again, like I guess just to add, there are like a lot of opportunities for part-time jobs, and try not to limit yourself on just looking for part-time jobs only within campus or only within one specific sector. If there are skills that you have, and you find jobs that you can use those transferable skills in, then yeah, I would say go for it as well. But Offer, do you have any experience like with finding part-time jobs? Are you currently doing any part-time jobs at the moment?
Yes. For part-time jobs, they are part-time jobs, but you might not get some part-time jobs in your field, at least for the moment. Because most of the part-time jobs uh, are not professional. You are studying a professional course to get into a professional field. So the part-time jobs you might be getting might not be professional, but be open to them because it pays bills. So I know you want a job, a part-time job that can pay some of your living expenses like food, maybe rent. It depends. So there are jobs, and luckily for me, I got a part-time job in school, so your case might be different. You might have it outside school, whichever choice you want. But I will encourage that you apply for the part-time jobs in school. It saves you time in terms of you can balance your school work and your academic. It's easier to tell your supervisor that you're going to class and he understands than telling your supervisor you're going to class when you're walking outside. So that was the approach I took when I came into Ireland. I think after I dropped my bags, it took me like 1 week and I applied for the school job and got it. I went for the interview process and all of that. So you can go with my trick or my technique, whichever whichever one you feel convenient. But the school job has been good for me because I don't have to struggle to go to work every time, taking train and tram and all of that. So whichever choice, everybody have different choice of what they want. So if you want to work outside school, good choice. If you want to work in school, good choice. So the different jobs you can work in the hospitality sector, retail, restaurants, just different very casual jobs you can take on that can support you because these part-time jobs will really support you as a student. I advise that you work. Don't just say you will not work. I advise that you work because it will open your mind to what the other possibilities that you can take advantage of in Ireland would be. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And then just very quickly on the second part of the question, like what's a realistic monthly budget? Again, I think I've not been a student now for 5 years, so maybe my own calculation of a student budget might be slightly off. But I'll just ask wrong quickly, like can you give, I guess, like an indication of what a realistic monthly budget for a student can be? As they're living off campus, what maybe the rent situation might be, and how much you spend, I guess. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it really depends on different people. But as Ria said, because I live off campus, and like I mentioned before, I change a few places, and the rent ranges, but the current place I stay is the rent is very low, but it's like I how to say it, I get this in exchange of like some help on the house, so that's why I pay very very low rents. Yeah. And yeah, but the average rent or something like the the single bedroom. It also depends on the location, but I guess if it's near DCU or something in the north in Dublin, like 9, 11, yeah. A single bedroom around 600, yeah, less like should be normal, yeah. And the living cost, yeah. I guess depends. It really depends on your living style. If you how to say go out eating a lot, like or you cook by yourself. Yeah. So it really depends.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
agree. I think, yeah, again, as Wrong said, like it ranges. So I guess like just for your own, I guess mind, if you want, sort of like a price range for accommodation, as Wrong said, like, anywhere from 600 up to about 1,000, 1,200, you can get like a really good place that is not too far away from the university. Again, within that range, you can find something. And then for your living expenses, it also depends on you as an individual. As Rong said, again, there are so many different restaurants here in Dublin that are very willing to take your money, but those would be a lot more expensive than if you are, making your food or buying the raw materials like in bulk. But again, I'd say for a month, I think a realistic budget, and correct me like if I'm way too off base now, but based on my time, like when I was a student, I think I was budgeting between anywhere from 400 up to about 600 extra for like all my other living expenses, transportation here in Dublin. I'd say maybe if you're taking the bus and trams and stuff, like you'll be spending maybe max 20 euros a week. And that will translate to maybe about 80 to 100 euros per month. And then, all your other like living expenses can be like 400, 500 euros. So that would be kind of like the range that I would go with. So we're getting quite a bit of questions. So for some of these questions, I will just quickly, I guess, answer some of them, and then some I can throw to maybe one of the panelists. Someone here is asking if, like, what the different clubs and activities are in DCU. Again, at DCU, there are so many different clubs and societies on campus. Like right now, we have over 150 different clubs and societies. So whatever it is that you are interested in, you find a group of like-minded students to share those with. Can I ask any of the panelists, like, do you guys have any experience with any of the clubs that you can share really quickly? Um, if you don't, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
mhm,
Yeah, I was just waiting for just
that's fine.
anyway. So yeah, yeah, there are yes, there are lots of different kinds of clubs and societies and activities as well. Yeah. So in terms of clubs and societies, I joined tennis and the yoga club. Yeah, and we have, I mean, one, how to say, like activity that the club held was which I really enjoyed and remember it like very clearly, was that they had this how to say this activity organized together with crafts and arts. So we made this kind of like um bracelets and like everything, like like accessories, like with the beads, and we did everything by ourselves. So I went there with my classmates. Yeah, so lots of things like happen and in the clubs and societies. And in terms, excuse me, in terms of activities, so that's why I highly recommend suggest live on campus, because activities happen on campus
Okay.
and they last till I mean, like late in the night. So it's better to, of course, it's better to live on campus than live off campus like I did. Because for me, like, for example, there are many activities that I would love to go to or attend, because I live off campus, and that it would like last quite late, and I didn't want to go back home too late, so I missed a few. But yeah, yeah.
That's good. Thank you so much. Yes, as Rong said, activities, there are so many activities during the semester, so there's always something happening. Clubs and societies always happen like over the week, again, depending on the club that you join. There could be activities. So when I
Yes.
was a student, I used to be quite active within the game society. They used to have sessions like every Tuesday then. So every Tuesday evening, we'll go in, we'll play some board games. There'll be food, you get to sort of like mingle with a lot of, I guess, like-minded people as well. So moving on, I'll just ask you this question, Ofri. So, like, how many days in a week would students have classes? Again, I guess before I pass it to Ofri, just as a caveat, again, it depends on the program that you have applied for. Some programs would have a different timetable from other programs, but from your own experience, like with the program that you're doing currently, like how many days in the week do you have lectures?
I didn't get the last part.
No, how many days in the week do you have classes?
Okay. For my own course, for first semester, we had classes 3 times a week, and then for second semester we had classes 3 times a week too. So it was Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. So we had Thursday, Friday um, to do personal studies, personal consultation, personal readings. It was also another opportunity to work. So that was how the schedule for my course was.
That's good. Thank you so much, Offrey. Okay, so what's wrong with the- I'm just reading through the question before I ask it. Yeah, we've answered this question already. Okay. So someone is asking about bank accounts, opening bank accounts. Yeah, like what was the process like? Ron, can I just ask you to answer that one?
Oh, so bank account. I'm using AIB, but there is also Bank of Ireland. Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't really matter which one, honestly. The most important thing is make sure that you have your phone, which allows you to download the application and the email address to ensure that you will receive emails from the bank when you open an account and everything, because that's the beginning and that is the most important thing. Yeah. So make sure your phone model works here in Ireland. Yeah.
Yeah, just on bank accounts as well. Yeah, when I was a student as well, like I think the process of opening the bank account is pretty straightforward, at least for AIB, as Rong said. So all you just need is just that letter from the university stating that you are a student, and then you'd be able to open the account like when you go to the bank. Again, it just depends on you. There's AIB, there's Bank of Ireland, there's PTSB. So whichever one is closest to you, you can just choose to use that one. Okay. Okay. Give me a second. Okay. Yeah, there's more questions about part-time jobs. I think we've spoken about those. Yeah, we've spoken about some of those as well. Okay, someone is asking, are there any competitive sports at DCU? Yeah, I think I can take this one. Again, as we said, like there are so many different clubs and societies. Those clubs and societies include a lot of competitive sports. As Rong said, like she joined like tennis club. I know there's a ping pong club as well. There's also a lot of the Gaelic sports clubs. There's football, there's basketball as well. So whatever it is that you are interested in, to be honest, at this point, you would find a group of students that already participate in those ones as well. Okay. Uh,
Yes,
yeah, go ahead,
I
please.
also yes, I also wanted to add that for the clubs and societies, there are several. We have like 150 clubs, the societies that you can join. But there's one particular one which is striking for me that I joined that I think that you totally enjoy, that will give you a very exciting experience in DCU, which
Mhm.
is the Erasmus Students Network. I encourage everyone who eventually comes to DCU in September to join that club. You don't have to be an Erasmus student or Erasmus scholarship student to join. You can just join because they organize virtually everything that is in your mind: soccer, rugby, dinner, parties, whatever every experience you want to enjoy in DCU. That particular club organizes it. So that's been my experience. And this truth that I'm telling you, I was also told when I came in, I was also very confused on which club to join. There were several: soccer, tennis. I joined the African Society club and the Erasmus club. So it has been a wonderful experience. I've gone for plenty soccer matches just by the fact that I'm part of the Erasmus network. You just get updates for having a soccer match, and that's it. It's lovely community, food, dance, music, and just to um, have fun outside your academics. So that's my take on that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, someone else is asking what essential clothing do we need before arriving in Ireland? Okay, so I think I'll pass it to Ofri. I know you mentioned something about the weather. So what I guess clothing were you able to get that was now able to at least like keep you warm, I guess, during the winter?
Okay, for clothing, I think you just need your warm clothes and you need your jackets for the winter purpose. But most times, I think you be on your warm clothes. It's not that serious. It's always serious for me because I was coming from a place that has been hot all my life. So I believe that for some of you, you would have probably be used to cold weather, but just the normal clothing you have been used to, your warm clothes and your winter jacket will suffice. So there's nothing to worry about.
Very good. Very good. And wrong, do you have like any recommendations for what clothing students should get before coming to Ireland?
Yeah, what Alfred mentioned, yeah, jacket, like raincoat,
Very
yeah,
important. Very
what,
important.
yeah, waterproof one, and boots, waterproof boots, yeah, and some um ingredients like like from home that you really
Right.
enjoy, like, or you will miss when you're when you're here. You can,
Mhm.
yeah, you can buy here, of course, but I mean in the first 1 or 2 weeks or first like 1 month or something, you'll be very busy. So yeah, just get some that you can use for the first few weeks or something. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, you've already answered that the next question. This one is going to be, I guess, slightly a bit more heavy. I would go first from my own experience, and then I can pass it off to the panelists as well, like if they have any um, experiences, I guess. So someone is saying, I am afraid, also Sasaga, I am afraid that I might face racism incident. How is the atmosphere there? Will they accept international students with open arms? People are scaring me. Can you please clarify? Okay, so before I pass it off to the panelists, again, I would say I don't think there's anywhere in the world that you would go where you would not face some form of prejudice. Again, I would not come on this platform to say that it doesn't exist at all here in Ireland. But speaking about it from my own experience, I would say those incidents are few and far between. I wouldn't say that they are like a daily occurrence or something that happens like every single time to every single person. Again, not to say that it doesn't happen, but for the most part, again, speaking about it from just my own experience, and both as someone who came here originally to do a master's program and someone who currently works within Ireland, I have not had any major incidents related to racism up to this point. I'd say most people here are pretty welcoming, they're pretty friendly, but I have heard stories from other people who have been close to me that have experienced something. So I'd say let me just pass it off to the ambassadors. So far, like I guess living within Ireland, what has your experience been like? As honestly as you can. Offer, you can go first.
Okay, thank you. The issue you're worried about is not an issue. It's just that the media has made a lot of things very complicated, and the way to solve this issue personally is to have your own inner peace. You don't worry about you're worried about who likes you, whether you're going to be liked. And if you stop worrying about whether you're going to be liked and just enjoy the moment, you will only hear stories of people telling you that this had effect. It's because they're conscious. They decide to be conscious that they are not going to be liked. And there's a saying that body language works better than speaking. So when you emit the body language of he's worried about whether he's going to be liked, or he or she is worried about whether she's going to be liked. So you give up that vibe of you are not feeling secure. So you need to be comfortable in your own skin and come with your own power. When I mean power, your own strength. You know who you are. Yes, I'm an intelligent person. I'm coming here to study. I have something to offer. So when you come with that mindset that you have something to offer, whether you are black or you are white, you just see that you have your own superiority complex going for you. So you cannot have inferiority complex because you already have a superiority complex that you are powerful, that you are intelligent, that you have something to give, or you have something that people will benefit from. So that's the mental power you should come to Ireland with. And you won't even worry about whether somebody is thinking you are not the same color with him or I. Trust me on this. It's all in the mind. And truly, I will not pretend that before coming to Ireland, I did also feel like maybe this would be an issue because we read a lot of stuff on the news that tends to distort our thinking. So that's why sometimes you need to stay away from the news and just face your own reality. So when I came here, immediately I came, I said, no, 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 I don't want to have this feeling. If not, I won't be able to distinguish myself. I won't be able to enjoy the country. And then I came with what I just told you, the lessons. I had to have that mental power that I know who I am. God is with me. And I hope you love God because it's God that helps us to overcome some of these issues. So come with your mental power that you have something to give to the country. You're not coming empty. So that should give you confidence that you can take over the world. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that answer, Offrey. Wrong, I just pass it to you very quickly. Have you had any experiences? What are your own opinions on that topic?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, I totally agree with what Alfred said. Yeah, I cannot agree with more. Speaking of racism, I think Priya, you said yourself as well. Every country has certain level of that, of this kind of social, let's say issue problem. Yeah. Even if it's not racism or racial, like I guess in our own countries, people will have how to say different opinions over people from different regions,
Yes.
not the nationality or the skin of our color or something. But in Ireland here, is honestly it's because it's a how to say, it's a very like Dublin is a very diverse like lots of people from different countries, so it's a very welcoming environment. And I know people must have heard of something about the teenagers or something, and from my experiences, I mean even the host that I lived with before, um she I mean she would suggest me to stay away from them, but from my own experience, I just I think just one evening or something, just a few teenagers, they just said like "ni hao" in Chinese to me, and that's it. I didn't feel like hostility or something, and honestly, like Alfred said, be comfortable in your own skin and be open-minded, be kind and be friendly. Of course, when it's like the middle of the night or 2 or 3 in the morning, when you're walking along the street, you need to be careful, right? Yeah, everywhere in the world. But other than that, in daylight, something, I think it's fine as long as you don't appear like so offended or like hostile yourself. And I actually had like very good experience with the how to say with this like teenager. I was like moving, and I had this big pink luggage, And this teenager, people would always like normally would stay away from that. He was on this bicycle. He was cycling to me. He was like, would you take me away in your pink luggage? I was like, yeah, what? That's like very friendly, right? I said, yes, of course. Yeah. So honestly, I haven't had like any, like negative experience. Yeah. So
Yeah.
far. Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for those answers. Yes, that question I think is a very, very good question to ask because again, as Ofori said, like a lot of things are reported in the news. So yes, again, it's being reported in the news means that it is happening, but sometimes like it can create that false perception that it is happening everywhere in that country as well. So again, like we are running out of time, I just want to quickly ask a few more, I guess, like pressing or more interesting questions that I think would be beneficial for everyone else. So someone is asking a question about lip cards. I think I can take this one. So can lip cards be used to pay all expenses from transport to food items just to avoid moving around with cash? Okay, so the Leap card is exclusively for transportation. So you can use it to pay for any public transportation, bus, train, tram, right? But Ireland itself is a pretty cashless society. Like I cannot remember the last time that I went to an ATM to withdraw cash. Again, if you have a smartphone and you can put your card on your smartphone, you can use that to pay for everything else in most shops. So again, like if you're worried about moving around with cash, you don't have to worry too much about that in Ireland. So someone is asking a question about residence permit. So quickly, can you quickly explain, I guess, the process of the Irish residence permit? So I would throw it to one of the ambassadors, but just to quickly explain, once you get your visa, if you need to apply for a visa and you arrive in Ireland, you have 90 days to register with the immigration office. And so once you register with the immigration office, you would get your Irish residence permit card. It will be a stamp two um, residence permit card. So can I ask Rong to just quickly, I guess, talk about like the experience of doing that registration?
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. So the advice is book your appointments as early as you can, because I know someone booked before they arrived in Ireland, which was the smart decision, because I didn't book it until like a week. I think the first week, sorry, I forgot the first week or second week, and I didn't get an appointment until the last day of October. So book the appointments even before you arrive here, if you can. Of course, it means you need to make the international call, okay? But it's okay. Or you can use I think you can use the Skype to make the international call as well. Yes. So, and yeah, just prepare, get your passport and your basic personal information ready and ready to, because they are going to ask your information to confirm, and then we'll send you the email, that like the appointment email, that when you need to go, and the how to say, the documents which will need to apply for the residence permit. Yes. Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, that's
No
it. Like the
problem.
process is pretty straightforward. As long as you're able to book your appointment, I think now they're trying to streamline that process as well. I know when you guys came, I think it was by phone that you had to do the appointment, but now they have changed it as well. They've created a platform. I think you can make the registration online. Yeah. So again, like they are trying to make it as seamless and as easy as possible to be able to do that. So someone is asking a question about, how is the weather like in summer? Okay, so right now I'd say like we are kind of close to summer. To be honest, we did have about 2 or 3 weeks of sun for the 2 weeks leading up to now. So that weather is warm enough to wear a t-shirt if you want to. But now it is raining as well, which is why, the advice that Wrong said that you should bring a raincoat. It's very, very important because you never know sort of like when it would rain here in Ireland. I'm really sorry that I couldn't go through all the questions. I think I'll just take one last question before we call it a day. So someone is asking, what is the crime rate and how safe is it at night? Okay, so I'll just throw it to Offrey. I know you might not have like the statistics, but I guess like what is your own experience so far? Yeah.
Um, for my experience, I think Ireland is top five safest country in the world. For safety, you have nothing to worry about. Say safe country. When you say a country is safe, it's safe. You don't have police walking around the streets, but there's security everywhere.
Mm,
That's something I can say to you. A really, really developed European country that you can be sure it's safe. As in, that's been my experience. I've not had any issues. I've not had any reason to look outside the window for fear of my life. Nah, as in, I feel safe in Ireland than I was in my country. So, for safety, we have to say reality talks.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
this island is safe. It's safe. That's
yeah, yeah.
according to.
I would agree with Offrey as well. But again, obviously, I am a man as well, so my own experience might be different from someone else. I know, like when I used to do part-time work before I started working at DCU, I used to work nights, so I used to have to go into work from 7, and sometimes I'll be coming back home like at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. I used to cycle with no issues. Again, my experience might be different. But wrong, like what would be your perspective? I think that would just be the final answer that we'll take, and then we'll just call the session.
Yeah, I think it's quite some, honestly, actually like 2 weeks ago or something. I came back home after 1. I was waiting for the bus. I was waiting at the bus stop by myself alone for like half an hour after 1. Yeah, and then after I took the bus, I walked like more than 10 minutes, 15 minutes back home. Yeah, safe. Yeah, of course, there are. I don't live in the city center. I live like more than half an hour with bus. Yeah, and around where I live, there's still people walking and like cars, it's going. So yeah, I would say yeah, it is safe. Yeah.
Well, that is all the questions that we can take. Now, I would say for the questions that I could not answer, I would put the oh, oh, I see that there are some questions in the chat. Yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't get to those. But I would put an email address in the chat that you can send any queries that you have, and we will try to get back to you. I hope this session was as interesting as it was for me. I think I learned quite a bit from our panelists as well. And I'm hoping to welcome you guys to DCU soon. Thank you so much, Wrong and Offrey, for sharing your experience with the
Thank
students
you.
today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Anyways, yeah, thank you so much, guys. We'll see you in the next episode of our webinar. Okay, bye, everyone.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.